This video is not sponsored by Skillshare, and you will see why. Hello everyone! Welcome to Art Business with Ness. I'm Ness and I'm a professional illustrator and art teacher. Today we're talking about the art teaching part. We're talking about Skillshare. And that's because recently in November 2022, Skillshare has been doing some sweeping changes across their platform and their pricing structure, and it's not good. So let's talk about what's happening and my own 2 cents about Skillshare. But first of all, if you're new here and you would like to see more videos like this, then don't hesitate, hit the subscribe button. And this way you will know when I post new videos, especially if you hit the little bell that will give you notifications when I upload new content. And you don't want to miss it because I'm planning a whole lot of new fun content for 2023. New advice, new classes, it will be amazing. So without further ado, let's jump into today's subject. So what are the changes that Skillshare has made? Well, first of all, the teacher's referrals price has changed for the better, actually, from 60% to 90% on the first membership payment after you've referred someone to the Skillshare platform. And Skillshare is leaning into that because that's the one that actually sounds good. Look, we're paying you more. Isn't that great for everyone involved? But what they're doing on the down low is they're reducing the amount that you're being paid for minutes watched on your classes. The 2 main changes are, 1, they're no longer paying minutes watched by people who are free trial users, and 2, they are going to adjust the amount that you're paid for minutes watched depending on how much that subscriber has paid for their membership. The amount paid by members isn't the same across the world. In some countries it's more expensive than others, and also it takes into consideration things like promotions. So if Skillshare decides to run a 40% off sale, for instance, which by the way teachers have absolutely no say over, then you will get 40% less on the minutes watched by people who have taken advantage of this promotion. Now, Skillshare is framing these new changes as bringing their models to industry standard or being mindful of engagement and quality content. But make no mistake, they are making very specific changes with the angle in mind of reducing the amount of money that they have to pay to creators. They're doing this because the economy is taking a wallop right now. One of the first things to go when the economy is taking a wallop is things like hobbies, things like Skillshare. It's not a need, it's a want for people. So when we're tightening our belts, this is one of the first things that's going to go. Their revenue has taken a hit. They're looking for a way to keep more of the profit to themselves. And so they're digging into your share to achieve that. With these changes, teacher will get a bigger initial payment on people that they refer to the platform, but this is just a one-time payment. It's for the first membership payment. The real payment on Skillshare has always been how popular your classes are and how many people are watching them. Some Skillshare teachers have very old classes on Skillshare that are still very popular and are still earning them hundreds of dollars every month. Now with these changes, this amount of money will be drastically reduced. And of course, it's referrals, which means that you have to share your unique referral link and people have to sign up with it. So you will only get these payments if you are actively marketing your classes, which can be a lot of work. If someone signs up to Skillshare using someone else's referral link, or they don't have one referral link at all and they end up on the platform, find your classes organically on the platform and just fall in love with them, end up watching all of your content, and you're the reason that they decide to stick around and stay on Skillshare and pay the membership, you still won't get a cent because they didn't use your referral link. The changes went into effect in November 2022, so we're now starting to see the effects of that on actual teachers' paychecks, and it's not good. Most teachers have reported their earnings are dropping by over 50%. With a lot of teachers even reporting worse drop than that, 70%, 80%. I even saw someone say 90% less income than the month prior. So let's say you have a Skillshare teacher that usually made about $500 per month on the platform, which by the way is considered more successful than average on Skillshare. Now that creator has somewhere between $200 and $250 per month. This is a drastic change. And for many teachers, this is the last straw and they have decided to leave Skillshare. I can't say that I blame them. Personally, I've always had doubts about Skillshare. When I first started teaching, I did a lot of research to decide where I would have my classes, and I seriously considered Skillshare, but after learning about everything, I decided not to go for Skillshare, and I have to say I have not regretted that decision in the least. I have made a lot more money hosting and marketing my classes myself. And there are also a lot of other problems with Skillshare. These recent pricing changes are just one of them. So let's go over some other issues that Skillshare has. One, lack of control on the content. There's only one type of content that does well on Skillshare. It's very short, snacky, and light classes that focus on a very specific topic. Skillshare classes are short, typically between 20 minutes and 2 hours long at most. If you want to teach something like how to paint with watercolors, you don't have enough time to properly cover it in that time. The Skillshare format forces you to choose a more specific topic or just one part of your topic. For instance, you could make a class on how to paint a cat in watercolor or how to use a wet-on-wet technique in watercolor, etc. Now, this isn't always aligned with what is best for a specific topic or how students learn best. That's why Skillshare is a bit more entertainment. It's best for hobbyists who want to have fun learning new skills. Sometimes it can fall short for professional or for very serious students who want to have a comprehensive curriculum on how to become an artist without having to piece together little pieces of advice from dozens of classes. Now, don't get me wrong, I myself have enjoyed a lot of Skillshare classes. Some of them are really well done, but it just doesn't work for every topic. For instance, when I started my own classes, I knew what I wanted to teach was a very comprehensive journey to become a freelance illustrator, how to do it step by step, from aspiring all the way to full-time freelancer. And I just know that's something that I cannot do on Skillshare. Even my smaller course, the Picture Book Portfolio Prompt 10-day course, would be considered too big for Skillshare. In fact, every single one of the 10 lessons could be a Skillshare class in and of itself. But the length is not the only way that Skillshare restricts how you teach on the platform. They actually have very strict quality controls on what you're allowed to post. It didn't used to be so bad, but recently they've made their guidelines much stricter in an attempt to up the quality of content on the platform. However, the rules don't always make sense and they heavily focus on the quality of the video and the audio, not necessarily the quality of the teaching. Teachers are required to have such high quality video and audio that they will have to spend a lot of money on their equipment. I've even heard stories of teachers getting their classes refused for things like there's noise in the audio, and when they watch them back, they really can't hear anything wrong with it compared to all their other classes. So I don't know how they make these determinations, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. Then a class that you spent weeks to work on might simply be refused. Personally, I think that Skillshare is using a dubious definition of what a good class is. From the beginning, I've been learning this stuff on the go. I know that my video quality and sound quality is not the best, but my teaching is helping people. That's what is important. People think that my teaching is clear, that the advice is helping them get work in the field of their dreams. That is what's important. But on Skillshare, I would be refused. Number 2, lack of control on monetization. On Skillshare, you have no decision power at all on the pricing structure. Skillshare decides everything, how much people have to pay for the subscriptions, when they run the promotions, and how that money is distributed between the teacher, as we've harshly been reminded just recently. But even more than that, you can't set the price for your individual classes. They're all the same. Whether it's a quick 20-minute classes that's kind of not that clear and that you just very quickly made, or it's a 3 hours in-depth class that really provides high value teaching for your students, it is still all the same. And sure, that second class might do better because it's simply better, but there's no guarantee. You don't get to actually price that second class higher because you've spent more time on it or because it's simply better. And that's a big problem. I always tell artists to price fairly for their artwork. And I think when it comes to creating content like classes, it should be the same. I spent months and months developing my art business bootcamps, and it is very important to me to set the price where I believe the value is. They're huge programs. They have to be priced higher to reflect the value that I deliver. But on Skillshare, I wouldn't be able to do that. Number 3, you need to market more than you think. One of the implied benefits of Skillshare over hosting the course yourself is that you don't have to do as much marketing. People can just go on Skillshare and look up what they want to learn, and your class is going to pop up organically. Not having to worry about that pesky marketing that so many of us hate is definitely a very attractive proposition. It's the reason that most people go for a platform like Skillshare. But in today's world, you have to remember almost every platform is oversaturated. When someone searches something in the search bar on Skillshare, the most popular classes, the ones that have proven to be great content, are the ones that are going to pop up first. Your classes as a brand new creator are going to show up at the very bottom. In order to boost your position in the algorithm, you have to do a lot of marketing yourself in the beginning. You have to share the links to your classes. You have to share your teacher referral link to your email list. You have to do posts on Instagram. You have to tell people about them on Facebook, in Facebook groups, etc. That hustle is necessary to build momentum on Skillshare. So it's actually a lot more work than you might believe. Even worse, Skillshare has been known to clean house. So every few months they might go in your catalog and see, oh, that class isn't getting much views, let's yeet that out of here. So if you don't get enough views for Skillshare's liking, your classes might simply be disappeared from there. Number 4, communication issues and favoritism. That's something that really bugs me about Skillshare, and it's the fact that they have created this elite group of teachers on Skillshare that they call the top teachers. Top teachers are few and far between, but between themselves, they earn over 50% of all the revenue generated on the platform. Now, I can understand that they make more money. They make very high quality classes, and people absolutely love and watch their classes, generating revenue for Skillshare. However, where it gets unfair is that these top teachers get extra privileges. They get access to special resources by Skillshare in order to help them improve their classes and do even better. And they also get access to the Skillshare Summit. In the Skillshare Summit, they get special attention like special workshops and even exclusive information. When the recent pricing changes happened, there was a Skillshare Summit, and this was discussed at length. Top teachers got more information about the changes, how they were going to be implemented, how it was going to affect their income, what they could do about it, etc. But the rest of the teachers, who are just normal teachers, not top teachers, they got nothing. They just got the help article that Skillshare published and no information beyond that. This feels fundamentally unfair and really rubs me the wrong way. Every teacher on Skillshare is important, and they should get access to all the same information and resources. Why cut out teachers at the bottom from these resources that they're the ones that could use it the most? I think that reserving these resources just for the elite teachers is making it even harder for new creators to succeed and thrive on the Skillshare platform. On top of that, it's not entirely clear how Skillshare top teachers are chosen exactly. Skillshare has never made that clear, and there are definitely some inconsistencies there. There are some teachers that have been there for years and are doing really well for themselves, have great numbers that are even better than some of the numbers from top teachers, but they haven't been made top teachers. Why? It's anyone's guess. Skillshare seems to have a specific types when it comes to who gets to become a top teacher, and they handpick who they want. And number 5, it doesn't pay enough. This is ultimately my biggest gripe with Skillshare. Creating and teaching classes takes a lot of time and effort. I know this firsthand. I really feel that a platform like Skillshare takes too big of a cut for themselves and leave the teachers with just scraps. I found this very interesting article on Online Course Host that tells us how much money can Skillshare teachers make. And so it tells us that according to Skillshare's data, their own data, on average, teachers make about $200 per month. This is an average. That means that there are a lot of teachers, I would say probably most teachers make less than that, pennies or nothing at all. And then you have some teachers that make a lot more money, making an average of about $200. Longer term teacher earning about $3,000 upwards, it does say. So kind of the end of the bracket there, $3,000 would be considered what top teachers make per month. And the very best teachers on the platforms, the one that make the absolute best number, do about $100,000 per year. $100,000 per year is about a little bit more than $8,000 per month. So here you have a pretty good idea of the scale. On average, most people will get about $200. The best ones would get about $3,000, and the absolute top earners on the platform get about $8,000 per month. The rest of the article is very interesting because it goes on to detail a lot about the pricing structure of Skillshare, and then it gives examples of specific teachers who have shared their experience on YouTube. They link to all their videos, and so you have here their numbers, their experiences. For example, this person earned about $2,000 per month. These are considered great numbers. These are the success stories, and it does sound, $2,000 per month is nothing to sneeze at. However, in my personal experience, outside of Skillshare, I've done better on my very first year. $2,000 per month, the fact that it's considered an impressive figure, that is not really impressing me. These are my numbers for this year, 2022. I made about $62,000. This is gross revenues. I did have a few refunds. So $60,942 of net profit over the year. Let's see how much that makes per month. Divided by 12, that's $5,000 per month. And I'm relatively new at this. I know I'm not the best teacher in the world, but I do my best. I have some good stuff to teach. And this is what I've been able to achieve outside of Skillshare. So to me, when I'm looking at these stories here, these are some of the best people on Skillshare, over 2,000 consistently every month. Those are people who are saying, here's the amazing results that I've been getting and how you can do that too. You have to understand that most people on Skillshare will not be doing as good as these people. And these are the numbers that we're seeing. Honestly, it makes me feel like Skillshare is taking much too big of a cut and that we can achieve better things outside of Skillshare. Bottom line, if you're an artist who is considering teaching art classes in the future, or if you're currently a Skillshare teacher, ask yourself this question: do I really need Skillshare to succeed? After all, you write, film, and edit all your classes by yourself. You interact with your students, you answer their questions, you look at their assignments, and you even do a lot of the marketing yourself to boost your classes in the algorithm. What is Skillshare doing all that much to justify the enormous cut that they are taking? What are they offering? From my own experience and that of others that I've seen, I would say that Skillshare needs us teachers a lot more than we need Skillshare. It's the teachers who are creating all of the content that they sell. They're creating their entire product. And yet, consistently, Skillshare has disrespected its teachers and is trying to offer them less and less money every time. I'm not an extraordinary teacher. I'm just a normal person. I've been learning as I go. But despite this, I've been able to make a great income with teaching. Yes, despite not always having the best quality picture and sound. What I do have are skills and knowledge that I want to share and a desire to see other artists succeed. Honestly, as long as you have that, you will be okay as a teacher, even without Skillshare. I know what you're thinking. Okay, but how? Where? How do I do this? Don't worry, because in my next video, that's what we're talking about. I'm going to be explaining different platforms, different ways that you can monetize your knowledge while helping others. So don't miss that one. And I also want to ask your opinion about something, because while making this video, I've been thinking, would it be pertinent to create a class teaching artists how to create art classes? I know that's a little bit meta, but I was just thinking that I've been accumulating a lot of information about how to do this. I've been doing it very successfully, and this is something that I potentially could teach y'all how to do. But of course, only if this is something that you want and that you would need. So let me know if you would be interested in a course like that. So I've created a special teachers group newsletter just to gather signups, see what the interest is. I'm gonna put the link to that in the description below. If you're interested, go on and sign up. And so I will be looking at how many people sign up to gauge a little bit if this is a good idea or a terrible idea. And if there's enough interest, I will be sending tips, advice, and potential new classes to this teachers group newsletter. So go in the description now and sign up. But for now, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. And if you did, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help our small channel grow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.